really powerful as well. And for Selfmade, it has been quite the journey for him, you know, evolving his play into this Fnatic roster. Of course, very early on, it was known as one of those carry-oriented junglers back in the days of SK Gaming in 2019 when he joined the scene and was the rookie of the split in that first year, made it to LEC playoffs in his very first split. But then when he joined this Fnatic team, it was very different because everyone assumed, you know, you get assimilated into the Fnatic machine, you play their style, and that's what Spring Split was. I don't think we saw the Selfmade we were used to seeing, but in summer, it was a completely different story where instead of him playing the Fnatic style, he taught Fnatic to play the Selfmade way.
And I mean, Reckless actually said that in an interview with Ashley Kang on Horizon around how in summer, Fnatic as a team, they had this epiphany, this agreement to just play around Self, make him the superstar, I think is exactly what he said. Even if it means having to sacrifice yourself. And Selfmade, especially in this World Championship, in the meta we find ourselves in, has been beneficial in helping out Fnatic. Now let's see what he can do, because as you mentioned, coming up against Caster's Jarvan, there's going to be a little bit more impetus here on Caster to get involved and get dirty this game.
Yeah, it's hard to find two champions that are more polarizing in the jungle in terms of how you play. Kinder, of course, wants time, get items under belt. Jarvan, from level 2 onward, always looking to make plays around the map. That's actually why we saw Selfmade go from his blue buff straight to his own red buff, because it's so common to see a Jarvan go red into the enemy, red, or his blue, straight into invading away some enemy camps here. So Selfmade playing around with that in the early game. And now, Karsa going, with this type of a clear, it's very odd, going into the Raptors as a third camp, slowing down his clear towards that level 3 point, but wants to finish towards the top side of the map because 369 is a bit vulnerable here on the gangplank in the early lane.
You can see Selfmade making his way south towards the middle lane, at least, despite the fact Whippo is being pressured. And actually similar for Reckless and Hilly. Now Karsa can step forward here as Nemesis is being pushed backwards. And that's another route to the Jackie Love. Good damage coming out. Summoner heal used here from Reckless. Jackie Love continues to trade back and forth. It's Summoner heal for Summoner heal.
Oh, yeah. Jackie Love, Yanja quick into their boots a little bit in that level 2 fight once again. And this time, Selfmade wins the Scuttle Crab RNG, so he's going to be able to play for that bot crab. Karsa was actually hovering around mid lane so that he could try and pivot which direction he needed to, but bot side it will be, and that will mean the first stack for Selfmade, and maybe more of a fight as he is here with Red Buff.
Hey, there's a Winter's Bite. Early flash from Yanja. Fnatic will be happy with that one, but Karsa and Knight already making their way south, so had Fnatic chased, they would have been problematic.
Yeah, so it's very clear. Top East, we're just fighting in the bot lane again.
We absolutely are non-stop. Hilly and Reckless want to win this quarterfinal. They are playing forward. They are playing aggro. We are not giving Jackie Love and Yanja a second to breathe.
Look, and I remember there used to be the story when it came to Reckless and playing against, you know, those great Chinese AD carries like Uzi, right? In the bot lane, Reckless would have a great year. He'd show up in these series, and then he'd just quietly farm in lane. He would always play passively, make these mistakes, but he is taking it to them in the bot lane. No fear in the 2v2.
Reckless wasn't really able to overcome. Remember, Yanja, no flash, no exhaust, is at risk of being taken down. Greyhound
Everybody is bot!
Flash forward from Selfmade. Fnatic do it again. 8-0 for first blood, but at what cost? Hylissang is down, Selfmade is down, Bwipo is down, and it's all gone to hell for Fnatic. 3 kills to top.
Ridiculous fight in the bot lane as everyone teleports in. Karsa missed his EQ combo and he barely walks it out of that one. What a ridiculous sequence of events. Top Esports pull it back after game 1. They knew Fnatic were going to play a bot lane focused game, and they showed up to shut them down.
And so much damage in reply. It's a 1,000 gold lead to Top Esports. Every single time we want to set some of the stakes for these players and these teams, it's Reckless and Hilly engaging. So many teleports in the bottom lane. 1 kill apiece for 369, Karsa, and Knight.
Yeah, I mean, 369 going to get a Cole and a Sheen. We'll see this play again because a lot of the combos went down very nicely for Fnatic. They jump on Yanja from the start again. Didn't have his flash from the last play, but uses the thick skin to stay alive a long time. Selfmade had to commit the flash forward, so Knight is the first one off the TP into the plane. Even though the 3-man knockup does come through from Bwipo, well, the damage is not quite there at this point. The early skirmishing power of a Silas and Jarvan, pretty deadly as Karsa almost lost his life for the misplay.
So close. While we have a momentary respite here in the combat, I want to quickly remind everyone of the beast that was Top Esports during the group stages. Average gold lead, 1,600. Kills at 15.5 and deaths at 1.8. So the highest kills and the lowest deaths. It was clean. And barring that one loss to FlyQuest, Top Esports looked fantastic. Now, I want to contrast that to what we saw from the very previous game. At 15 minutes, still ahead, but they died significantly more. They still got as many kills. And now we're 6 minutes into this game, Ender, it's already 3 kills to 1, meaning it's a little closer to those averages we saw from the group stage.
Yeah, really scrappy game in Karsa on the enemy Raptor camp. Nemesis will find him out with level 6, but what we expect to see from top is to use the Jarvan plus Silas to take over the map. Because of the early kills, it's a lost chapter difference in mid lane where Knight's going to have that one, Nemesis won't. So even though Nemesis is the range champion, Knight can actually trade pretty aggressively inside the minion wave to try and gain priority, especially with a jungler like a Jarvan next to him. So once you get the push with Knight, move around to the rest of the map and make plays, but Selfmade's in the bot lane first.
Yes, indeed. Yanja still got that great help to play with. Cannon Barrage has been thrown down. No heal, no flash, no exhaust, and that's a lot of damage. Yanja's going to get taken out. Reckless picks up the kill. And that's a 3-on-2, but here comes Karsa.
Here comes Karsa and Knight. They're on the way, but they're not quite going to be able to make it there fast enough. Karsa doesn't have the flash, and Jackie Love cannot apply the Glacial Augment to slow down Selfmade and allow Karsa to get into that fight. So it's a really good move there from Fnatic to attack the bottom lane, because surprisingly, after all that action, not a lot of flashes were burnt, you know? It's really just the top side of the map that ended up losing their flashes, but Yanja did not have his on the TK, so that's what enabled Selfmade to get that kill.
Game 1 of the series, Jackie Love was consistently focused and taken out by Reckless and Hilly, and he was punished. This game, it's been Yanja on the Tahm Kench. Now he's 0-2-0, but Knight and Karsa are aware of it. Knight and Karsa have moved to this bottom lane multiple times. Like every time a skirmish is broken out, throw your eyes to the minimap if you're watching at home, because Knight and Karsa are moving, and we saw them invading, stealing away the blue buff, and you can see that Selfmade's mark is spawned just above Karsa's head. So Slow that down just a touch. Top Esports still 800 gold out.
Exactly. It's that duo of Karsa and Knight that will, you know, that's the win condition for this team. That's how they take over the game, and it's just even better because both your side lanes are just stacked with globals. You have a GP ultimate, down bot side you have a Sen and a TK, so you can really play to any lane you want. But I think that this game we're probably going to see more focus put down towards that bottom side of the map with how, you know, focused it has been from Fnatic side as well.
You have 8 minutes of proof in that regard already. Yuanja's Tongue Lash will go side of Reckless, unable to find his target. Level 6 already picked up for JackeyLove, so the Dawning Shadow is there. His flash and his heal is back. Yuanja's flash will be back in just a moment. He did go for that Hail of Blades, Tom Kench, but he has been bullied, frankly, by Reckless and Hilly. Every single opportunity they have, but important to note, 3 assists for JackeyLove, 1 kill, 1 assist to Reckless, and there is a 12 CS difference for the time being in favor of Top Esports bottom lane.
Something that surprised me a bit, in the LEC we used to see Bwipo all the time go ahead and place these wards on the Rift Herald at 8 minutes by himself. You know, he doesn't need wards up there, he knows he's going to get ganked anyways, but Fnatic a little bit late to the play on that one. So once again, Karsa's able to solo that one out, and that's something that Fnatic should become aware of, you know, as we move into the next games in this series. But Selfmade feeling good about himself. He's going to get the bot Scuttle Crab as once again off of cooldown, Yuanja has to flash.
Reckless and Helisang playing this game to win.
Oh,
Helisang will get some damage.
No.
Goes for the Fisher down. Ash Arrow and Yuanja's gone. He's dead. Blown up under the ECA. Call of the Forge God comes out. Flash away from 369. He escapes with his life.
In back-to-back games, Fnatic win the 2 versus 2 in the bot lane, and now it's even worse as Bwipo gets the flash off of 369. JackeyLove will be denied everything underneath the tower.
Reckless has rarely overcome his nemesis, has rarely taken down, whether it was Uzi, whether it was Perks, whether it was anyone stopping him from winning. And today, with the performance that Reckless and Healy are showing, they do not want to fall prey to JackeyLove and Top Esports. They get themselves a plate and they get themselves out.
And that's 2 plates and solo gold on Reckless too, so I mean, that's a lot of gold going into the Ashe, even if the CS advantage is there for JackeyLove. And Knight, once again, is continuing to walk towards that bottom lane to find a play, but is not able to get it on that one. And that is going to be a problem for Top. If Knight is not able to succeed on these roams, well, he's not getting advantage solo in his lane, and his team is falling behind. He has to be able to step up and turn the course of this game.
If you didn't see game 1 and you're just tuning in now, Knight played Zoe, ended up 4 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists in around 15 minutes, and then stayed there for the next 25. Was unable to find a way to use that advantage in that lead, and is because of how Fnatic played the game. And Knight was trying to 1v9.
It was no fault of Knight.
100%.
It was no fault of Knight.
Yes.
In the team fights too, you know, Arcane shifts forward for JackeyLove was a big problem for them. Now Karsa spending some time around this middle lane. Hillisang is on the way, and so is Yuanja. We're about to get a scrap inside of the river, Trev.
Selfmade's got a mark onto Karsa as well. Karsa should have just spotted this. Ward comes out from Nemesis. Flash and Shockwave available.
Let's
Mountain
fight.
Drake is up. Remember, no flash for Yuanja. He's already used the exhaust. The Ash Arrow locks him down, and Helisang sends him packing. Hilly continues to chase, gets caught and knocked up by the flag and drag. Cataclysm comes down, goes golden, thanks to the stopwatch. More teleports coming into the fray. That's a root connecting onto Helisang.
Oh.
Somebody heal keeps him alive. Nemesis Shockwave finds Karsa, and now they can set up for the Dragon. Fnatic in the lead.
Fnatic are scrapping the LPL ref in these fights, and they're coming out on top. That will be the second Drake of the game as well for Fnatic, setting them up for the early soul.
And Ender, do you remember when I talked about the early game impacts that Top Esports have and the control and how clean they are? This is the first time that Karsa died before 15 minutes at Worlds 2020.
I mean, just look at this from Fnatic. The CC layering as Reckless's ult comes in. They cannot pop the gray health on Yuanja. He's 0-4-0 on the Tom Kent. Fnatic fans are used to this. Sometimes it flips bad, and that's 0-5-0 for Yuanja.
0-5-0. Fnatic are punishing Top Esports bottom lane. I think it is important to call out at this stage that on the international setting, this is the 8th game that Yuanja has ever played. This is the first time that they're experiencing Fnatic's playstyle, and I want to call it out that Fnatic are over-delivering on their performance. We'll get to that in a moment as Karsa will summon the Rift Herald. The minion wave has been cleared out by Nemesis. 369's here as well. Nemesis under a little bit of pressure, but Fnatic are still down in gold. There's a CS advantage for 369 in the top lane. He's got himself the Trinity Force. The Cull is about to proc, but a 3-0-3 Ashe and a 1-1-5 Braum. Fnatic are feeling comfortable with how the early game is played.
Yeah, I will say that at the same time the bot lane play happened, Top were able to take the top lane turret, right? They've been able to get the Rift Heralds in both of these games, so they still hold the gold advantage. But the problem is where the fights are happening are around where Fnatic is strong. And that's why Fnatic keep being able to find this. You know, Yanja is never having his flash, so the best thing for Top to do in this scenario is to get out of standard lane assignments. You see Fnatic already have put 2 players in the mid lane. They want Reckless to be able to get control over the map and shut down playmaking options from Top, because that's what Top would love to do now, is get Yanja out of bot lane, start fighting around Knight, around Karsa, using that Gangplank ultimate as that barrage from afar to assist in any of these moves. And as you can see it, as Knight moves into the bot lane, where is Karsa going to go? To the enemy blue.
Yeah, definitely. In Top Esports, they are still in control of the game. It's 2,000 up. Karsa's going to be able to steal that one away, flag and drag into the smite. Nemesis will get some damage down, chasing him out as Jackie Love under some threat from the rest of Fnatic. So multiple pressure points across the map. Knight manages to get some damage on the bottom lane outer turret, as the rest of Fnatic, they hold strong. So it's Top Esports that have got the first Herald, the first tower. Fnatic have got 2 dragons under their belt already, and they've got that dragon win condition that can pull Top Esports towards them.
Yeah, and you can, yeah, exactly. Just like you're saying, you drag them into those fights where you're going to have this Senna matching up into the 3-0-3 Ashe. No one wants to fight around this Ashe. She hasn't finished her items just yet, but by the time the Infernal spawns, it will be that Essence Read versus the crit chance and the CDR to constantly spam out these arrows, because it has been Fnatic playing off of the arrows, off of, you know, chaining it with the CC from Braum as well to find a lot of these fights. And now Knight is isolated on the bottom side of the map, so he's just going to have to sack some waves, and as Hylissang and Selfmade cut through the jungle, maybe lose minions under the tower.
It happens to everyone, okay? And do not laugh, it happens to everyone. As we're cresting 15 minutes, a new record has been set by Yanja. The most deaths at 15 minutes for an individual player in a single game at 5. He beat the previous record of 4, which is held by multiple players. Fnatic will at least secure 1 outer tower. It is going to be at the cost of another Rift Herald. And if you look at lane assignments, Fnatic committing towards the bottom half of the map, 1.5 minutes till Dragon, and Bwipo is being surrounded a little bit, but I don't think they'll try chasing.
Yeah, nice little triple barrel from 369 to chunk out Bwipo a bit. Because though it is Infernal Storm, we are on Infernal map, it is interesting because it makes it so much easier to walk into the enemy jungle where there's less walls, there's just brush, you can cut off players at the pass. As you can see, Kindred has hit the 4 marks and upgraded to 575 attack range, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's very easy to walk into the enemy jungle and cut off the rotational paths from Top.
Well, will Winter's Bite find its target? Smite comes out, flash is blown, throwing down the ultimate from Hylissang, and Knight continues to get chased. The Ignite comes out, Dawning Shadow buys time, and Knight fires it the wrong way. Selfmade used the Lamb's Wristbite to keep Hylissang alive, and Knight, I think you can feel the pressure.
Yeah, there was a bit of confusion on both sides there too. Selfmade thought it was coming one way, that it was not, so he lost the Lamb's Respite, of course, 40 seconds before the Infernal Drake spawn, so Selfmade will not have that ultimate back up. That's a very long cooldown, especially before level 11. That could be the difference maker for Top in this fight, but now that Knight has no flash, it is so much harder for him to threaten damage on Fnatic's backline.
Well, I want to talk about the top laner from Top Esports, as he's on top of his game with 157 CS to 138. Essence Reaver and Trinity Force completed already. I've seen what LPL Gangplank players can do when they take over games, and this is a threat that you cannot disregard. If Selfmade or Reckless get caught by barrels, well, that could be problematic. It's 5 seconds to Dragon.
Yeah, Reckless has flash and heal, so he has tools to play into Top here, but the Gangplank plus Jarvan ult is absolutely deadly, and that's exactly what Top are going to be trying to unload on Reckless and reach him in the backline.
All right, summoning, the Rift Herald was summoned inside the mid lane. Top Esports still have pressure. The tower will get dropped. That's the second of the game, and it's still a 2,000 gold lead. The #1 seed from the LPL. They're now going to peel into the river. Look, teleport is up for Nemesis, and he can jump in from behind if he wanted to.
Yeah, Top Esports, they're a little bit grouped up right now. They lose the EQ combo, so that gives Fnatic control of the river once again. Again, though, Hylissang, Selfmade both losing ultimates, and Knight popped the Forge God.
That's a hijacked call of the Forge God, replied with one of their own. Bwipo shoots it back. The ball is placed as a deterrent for engage. Attack, dissonance, defend, and Nemesis backs away. The Infernal Drake will will reset. This will be the first for Top, the third for Fnatic, and Top immediately start to back away. The risk of engaging into the Shockwave and the Arrow is terrifying.
Yeah, this is just crazy because I think Fnatic are actually going to end up giving this one up, but because there's not deep vision inside Fnatic's jungle, Top Esports, they were a little bit slow. They didn't immediately jump onto this objective. They will get that, but it gives Selfmade time to head straight over to that wolf camp and try to get a mark for himself.
The tension in those fights, but you can feel the respect. Top didn't overstep, they didn't overchase, and as long as the threat that Fnatic had with their tools was available, Top respected it. A reminder, Fnatic didn't have that Lamb's Wrist, but that get out of jail free card, so they also didn't want to start the fight.
It's really interesting, though, how there seems to be a clear disconnect in the two ways these teams think about the game, because right as soon as that dragon goes down, Nemesis is teleporting top lane to knock down this tower, Selfmade is stealing away camps, and we saw echoes of this in the first game as well, where Karsa was soloing out all the objectives, and Selfmade was just farming. It seems like Top are the team that want to commit to these objectives more. Again, they got 2 Rift Heralds while Fnatic were taking a bot lane tower. So Fnatic, on the other hand, are always playing about getting gold, taking CS for themselves to get themselves the most immediate power in terms of itemization, and that's going to benefit them a lot in the coming fights.
I'm trying to remember what Froskuren said at the top of the day in Countdown around how Top are a little bit meta-resistant in some ways, whereas Fnatic are fully committed. Right now, Bwipo's forced to run for his life. Flash away, flag and drag into the Cataclysm flash. Bwipo's locked inside there with Knight and Karsa. Turret damage is helping out. Bwipo finally goes down. It's Uyanja that takes him out. And while that's going on, Fnatic will take out the mid-outer turret.
Yeah, they're getting a lot here in the mid lane, and JackeyLove can't easily farm this out. So Top, they are now playing around the Knight plus Karsa combo, and they get the kill with 369 in trouble.
All right, the command attack and the shockwave comes out. 369 goes down and low. Forced to flash himself. Nemesis winning the 1v1, knowing there's no threat from the rest of Top, and they get the summoner spell.
Yeah, good flash burnt out of 369 there. Knight will be able to trade for the tower in the bottom lane, so Top are still winning out overall on the gold trade on the map, getting the kill on top of that. And I think that 369 maybe a little bit greedy to try and farm underneath the tower, but he's telling himself, as long as I just keep getting money, it doesn't matter if I have the flash, I just want to be able to pump out more damage than Fnatic can. And so far he's on track to do that, because I feel like you pointed out 5+ minutes ago that he had these 2 items, and he has not been back to base since. He's got a lot in the inventory.
And of course, if anyone remembers the G2 Esports game, the final one from the group stage, it was a barrel that all of Europe felt.
Everyone remembers.
Right? Now for Fnatic, I think paying respect to where 369 is, the damage that Knight can put out. To be fair as well, he's sitting on the Haunting Guys as well as the Super Soaker. Still looking to farm up, but we've seen how he can steal away the very impactful ultimates on the side of Fnatic. So Knight, if he gets a team fight where his team is still ahead, where they can use the full kit of Sylas, it will be very scary for Fnatic.
Yeah, if we're looking at levels overall, Fnatic seem to have reached the race to level 11s faster on like Selfmade and Reckless, 2 long cooldown ultimates that are very important, especially that Ashe being able to fire that one out repeatedly was how Fnatic got a lot of their kills in the early game, and they still have control over mid lane for the time being. The difference is 369 faster to level 13. That's a big spike in terms of the barrel recharge rate that he can get off as Bwipo pops the ultimate on him. No flash here, and Selfmade's on the way.
Okay, running it down if you look at the minimap. Reckless as well as Selfmade coming in to surround 369. Teleport's starting to be channeled. Knight will arrive to the fight. Selfmade and Reckless just start to piece out. Selfmade jumps back forward. That's a stolen. All of the Forge God. Lamb's Respite comes down to buy some additional time. That's a hop away from Selfmade. Flash forward. The Ashe Arrow onto Knight. Sets it up for Selfmade to take him down. But now Hylissang is in trouble. He's got a flash available to him. He's got a fish and he's thrown it out already. The Unbreakable is blocking so much damage from JackeyLove, and the shockwave from Nemesis brings Fnatic forward. He chases it down, picking up a kill into Karsa. Here comes the rest of Fnatic on the backside. It's a barrel into Hilly, and Selfmade manages to find a kill into 369. JackeyLove is the last man standing, and Fnatic win the fight.
The 20-minute fight, Fnatic trade 4 kills for 1. Bwipo's going back to base. He has teleport Fnatic. They're looking for the Baron.
Are you kidding me? Fnatic start to surround 369, and they engineer a situation where they find 4 kills. They find themselves an uninterrupted Baron, and Fnatic are once again in control.
And they shred through this as well. Double marksman, the Orion as well. JackeyLove is here, but it's just him against the world. The rest of the team is not in the area. The smite comes down for Selfmade, and Fnatic have a Baron.
I am at an absolute loss for words. Fnatic, 1,000 gold up, 10 kills to 5. 20 seconds to to the next Infernal, and it all started catching 369.
Look at the pathing in the river, though. It's so interesting. Rekkles doesn't commit down to the fight. He loops all the way around because he knows there's a Tahm Kench, Jarvan, Senna on the way, ready to collapse down. So he takes the safe way around while the rest of the team slows down, and then this arrow cannot miss. Nightfall, Selfmade survives, and now what looked like a great collapse from top is now their doom inside of the river. Nemesis is here with the ultimate ready to go, and he catches Karsa out of the flash.
JackeyLove was just trying to get around the shield, but he couldn't. Bwipo's already landed Call of the Forge God. The arrow whiffs in between on the top Esports. The Super Soaker thrown out by Knight, and top Esports trying to contest. They cannot do it. Fnatic pick up the third dragon. Winter's Bite will not find a target, and Fnatic start to back away. Every single member of Fnatic is delivering, and now I put myself into Karsa's head. We've spoken so much about Rekkles and JackeyLove, and Rekkles trying to overcome JackeyLove. Well, a tick and a half so far. Put yourself into Karsa's shoes. Back in 2018, he won MSI with RNG. Got to Worlds as a tournament favorite to win the whole thing, and was eliminated in the quarterfinals by G2 Esports.
It was the golden road that was denied for RNG for Karsa, and that's where JackeyLove came up and took it home. So Fnatic Europe getting 2 birds for 1 stone on this push. Knocking down JackeyLove, knocking down Karsa in a prime position to go to match point against the tournament favorites in top Esports.
The thing that I find beautiful as Karsa is going to slide, he's going to be able to get the knock-up, lock everyone in the Cataclysm. Nemesis has still got that shockwave. He catches 3, but at what cost? Hylissang jumps away. Dawning Shadow. What? The Fisher falls short. How did you not die? How have you got a loaded coin? It is heads, 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 heads for Hylissang all day long.
Impossible to kill. Top threw everything at Hylissang, and they were not able to find it. And now they're scrambling from lane to lane, trying to make a play happen. It looked like they wanted to collapse on bot lane, but that will not come through in the end. It's just a red buff for JackeyLove as they lick their wounds and try to hold on.
Fnatic are playing exceptionally on an individual level, and I'm going to go as far as to say it is starting 2 games in a row every time from Hylissang in the bottom lane. Consistently, he and Rekkles are getting ahead of JackeyLove and Yuyanja. And look, that last player is a bit crazy, but Fnatic 2 games now, they've started to unlock their advantages through that bottom lane.
And if you look at the scoreboard, it's close in gold. But the fact is, Selfmade is reaching bigger and bigger spikes on this Kindred. The scaling options are here for Fnatic. Their team fight is insane. And while Ornn is a tank, he's going to start handing out better item upgrades for his team. Karsa wasn't able to find an impact on the Jarvan. The Jarvan is now just a glorified, you know, HP bar in these fights, buying as much time as he possibly can. And now the responsibility falls to 369, who did just finish off his Infinity Edge. Can he find the barrels? Because in the last fight, he got a big one, but he was one before and immediately fell down after. Top have to find ways to fight around him, and they've been unable to do it all game.
And I also think all kudos here. We can see top Esports trying to push Fnatic back. They will start to move back. All kudos to Fnatic shutting down JackeyLove on the Senna. As I've queued up the incorrect graphic. I'll get to that one in a second.
Nice try, though.
It was indeed. JackeyLove's Senna was unstoppable, was unfathomable. Kadril was really hyping. We've all said it, but it hasn't had the influence, and it is in combination to how Hilly and Rekkles played the lane, never giving him a chance to find 751 damage, but never giving him a chance to dominate the game. It has been Fnatic that has been on top of the initiations, the skirmishes, and with 2 minutes until the Infernal Soul is ready, you have to feel Fnatic just want to slow things down, set up the wave, set up the vision, and play for the Infernal Soul.
Absolutely. It's going to be so good for them. Selfmade just finished off his rapid fire cannon. Also at 7 stacks now on the Kindred. So another range bump of 25 there for him, and fighting around this objective with a redemption now to try and counteract the big damage of the Gangplank ultimate, right? Because Gangplank ult should, in theory, be so good when paired with the Jarvan. You line them all up in that tiny circle, make sure you get the true damage on the center, but if Redemption's just there to sustain on through, if Rekkles always has his flash up, you're never going to see these fights materialize for top, and they've been unable to find it so far.
No, not at all, and that means Fnatic 3,000 gold up. A minute to go. I'm looking at the vision. Teleport is available for both for Nemesis and a spellbook in Bwipo. He's got the flash exhaust. If you look behind the red buff in the southern quadrant of the Rift, top Esports have a number of Fnatic wards that they haven't cleared out. A very happy B for Rekkles, who I believe is still unkilled this series. 304, got the Molten Edge, upgraded Infinity Edge, fires an optimistic Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but look at Selfmade with the rapid fight cannon, with the 7 stacks in the Kindred, He literally hops, skips, and jumps, and Knight has to run away with his tail between his legs.
It's just mean. He's going to get another mark on the Wolves right there, too. It's what happens when a Kindred starts to win. She never loses. She just continues to stack those up and look real good. 30 seconds away from the Infernal Drake, and they have the deep vision inside the top jungle, which gives them perfect information of what's happening. The walls have been burned down to the ground on the Infernal map, so it's open areas which favor Fnatic.
Yuanja, Hail of Blades, jumps in. He's got the exhaust. The Devour comes out as well. Nemesis is in some trouble, but so is the rest of top Esports. Whippo steps forward. Call of the Forge God comes out. It's interrupted. Castle locked inside the pit with the Cataclysm. That's the second to fall. It's a double for Selfmade as Yuanja is taken out as well. Whippo taking some damage from 369 and Jackie Love, but this will open up the Infernal Soul.
There are low HP bars on the side of Fnatic. Knight is full HP, but the Infernal Soul is taken down. There's no smite to contest. The damage dealers of top are alive, but their front line went down. There cannot be any follow-up when you have to cut through Whippo, who is unkillable.
Top Esports initiated that play, jumping onto Nemesis. Fnatic were in the right place at the right time and responded correctly. They now have the Infernal Soul. The Ash Arrow goes in between 369 and Knight once again. Flash away. The Shockwave will not deliver its targets, but they force top away for the time being. Knight is going to step forward, and the Baron is an option, but it's risky.
Fnatic have no ultimates. They're going to slow things down, go back to base, because Knight just got the steal back up, so we could go ahead and take something like an Ornn ult, a Kindred ult, an Orianna ult. Any of these are going to be very, very high impact within the fight, and you see, it is top that look for the pick onto Nemesis. Yuanja uses everything to get in there and jump on him, but Whippo buys so much time for his team with a 3-man knockup in the backside of the fight. You can see everything put in. The Jarvan plus the Gangplank ult combo. It's what you're waiting for. Senna too. But there's a Kindred R. The Lamb's Respite is making it impossible for top to actually dive that backline, so you have to fight front to back, but you are just weaker in that scenario against the double marksman of Fnatic.
Reckless wasn't even there in that initiation or in that fight. And the fact that they've got the Infernal Soul, add that to the damage of Orianna, Kindred, and Ashe. Now Fnatic, they start off Baron, but there is a ward outside the river.
Wait a second.
Diligence hasn't been done. They're chasing Knight.
Yeah, they're looking for Knight, and the rest of top cannot get to him in time. Top, they're going to have to throw it for fighting the river, otherwise he's going to die.
Ash Arrow secured already onto Knight. He's healing up a lot. Buy some time with the Hourglass. Call of the Forge God comes out, is knocked backwards. Whippo is interrupting all of top Esports. The LPL's first seed is being held in their tracks by a wide Whippo in the river. The redemption comes down and they start to heal and back away. Jackie Love is tagged. Selfmade's running him down. Looking for the rapid fire cannon. Looking for a dance of arrows. And top are in full retreat, running for their lives.
369 is trying his best to play off of these barrels in the fog of war, but they are not connecting. It's not enough to get a kill. And Karsa threw his life in the river to save his mid laner, but now there's no smite on the Baron.
Absolutely none whatsoever. No cannon barrage to follow up either. Jackie Love will fire out the Dawning Shadow, and another Baron goes the way of Fnatic. Do they fancy themselves a shot? There was a tag onto Yuanja. Here comes 369. He's not going to be able to do enough, though. The damage is onto Yuanja and the retreat from Fnatic. Got to play this one carefully, but they feel themselves an opportunity to win the fight.
How brutal is that? Hylissang counters his own top laner, so the stolen ultimate from Knight does absolutely nothing. Fnatic now have the Infernal Soul. They have the Baron on top of it, and it's through immaculate fighting around these neutral objectives. They're unmatched by top.
Fnatic are currently unmatched in the skirmishes, and the impact that Reckless is having from everyone else's performance. He's 3-0-5 this game. Ender, Reckless went 6-0-8 in game number 1. Do you know Jackie Love has yet to pick up a kill?
Wow.
Let that sink in. In 65 minutes of gameplay, 0-6-2 for Jackie Love in game 1. He's now 0-0-5. He hasn't had the opportunity. Fnatic have found ways to control and to keep top esports at arm's length. It's been close, but it's been Fnatic one step ahead.
It has been. You know, they've targeted bot lane every single game. Kindred's now up to 11 marks. Another one of those breakpoints. There's going to be Infinity Edge, soon to be a Molten Edge, as soon as he picks that one up as well. Top, they've been outscaled. It's the sad truth. Only down 4,000 gold, but with the Soul on top and everything else to boot, they would have to pull off a miracle fight here. 369 is the damage dealer. He has everything he needs except the players around him to be able to contest in the 5 vs. 5s, because his front line is just unmatched every single time, weaker than Fnatic's. He can't get in there.
Here's the initiation from Carson. Cataclysm comes out to let the first hit. Reckless is down. Bwipo's going to be very late to the fight, but do Fnatic fancy a shot? No, Top Esports find their man.
That's exactly what they needed. Finally, 369 was able to layer up not just his ultimate, but also some barrels to be able to knock down Reckless, the flashless Reckless. When Reckless does not have flash, he is killable from top, but they have to be able to find more windows to be able to do that, and his flash is going to be on cooldown when the Elder Dragon spawns in a minute and a half.
This Red Bull Baron power play is now negative. Top Esports have been able to claw it back, pick up that bounty. It's a minute and a half to Elder, as you've already alluded to, and the pressure is on here. The game is still balancing on a knife's edge. Yes, Fnatic have an advantage. Yes, Fnatic have been in control, but you can see how quickly it turns. And if Casa can find the target and shut down one of those damage dealers, that is how Top can win this next fight.
But there's a big difference, too, between finding that fight in mid lane, popping out of the fog of war when Bwipo is top lane, and fighting around a major objective, because Fnatic have been locked down when it is, a Baron spawning or a Dragon spawning. They've been very crisp around those areas, getting deep vision beforehand. That's where the struggle is going to come from Top. That's where they're going to have to find some way to be a little bit more creative to find out Reckless, and I think Fnatic are just going to try and stall out as soon as this Dragon spawns, make sure Reckless's flash is up before risking it all again. But that's where Top have more options, because there is a flashless Nemesis, a flashless self-made, that are also prime for the picking.
Elisang stepping into the red buff of Top Esports, keeps flipping that coin, keeps landing on heads. And if you look at your items, yes, Senna's got 80 souls, which is
that's big.
Definitely
that's huge
scary.
To have the breakpoint right before the Dragon
But
fight.
so is Molten Edge.
Yeah.
Self-Made's Molten Edge has been upgraded. It just comes down to execution, and every single one of these fights has been about who has landed the skill shots and, frankly, who is using vision in their initiation tools. Fnatic have not hesitated. They've been bold enough to jump in, and they're bold enough to start the Elder.
And Reckless still does not have flash. This is Top's moment. Full build for 369. Karsa and 369 looking to find Reckless.
Sight is hijacked. Bwipo's call to the Forge God. Ash Arrow comes out. The first target is going to be on Scarce. Look at the backside. Elder Dragon's going low. 2,000 HP inside the pit. It's picked up. Fnatic have got the Elder. They've got the Dragon lasers to fire. There goes Bwipo. He's looking for Jackie Love, who's been locked up. He's taken down. Self-Made is dominating Top Esports, is dominating this quarterfinal, and Fnatic have got themselves another buff.
There are no smiles on the coaching staffs of these two teams. They know how serious this game is. They know the stakes behind it. Even after a fight win, Fnatic are stone cold, but they are charging forward for the base of Top.
They absolutely are. 25 seconds before Jackie Love is back up and alive. Top Esports will have a chance to defend, but if they take too much damage, the Elder Dragon buff will send them packing. The inhibitor falls over, and now Fnatic, they step forward. How brave are they feeling?
They're looking for the double inhib. They want to keep Top underneath their Nexus tower so they can easily knock down that top lane inhibitor turret. Jackie Love is up in 5, but this one is gone.
It is definitely dead inside the base of Top Esports. All 5 members of Top Esports are alive. The Devourer will keep 369 alive as Uyanja is forced to run away.
Is down.
Dead. 369, Jackie Love out. Carcer's trying to dissuade and slow down Fnatic, but they don't care. The Elder Dragon buff is destroying Top Esports. Fnatic have made a statement, and they will come out on top. Fnatic hunting down Knight. Fnatic taking